Hello, good humans. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back again to another live stream with your boy, Mr. Rib, highly charitous. How's it going? Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's doing well. Reason for this live stream is much the same as the last one. That is, I need to up my watch time again in order to try and get monetized on YouTube, and also I just need to practice a bit more. So here we are again. We're doing some more practice. If you guys have got a guitar at home or an instrument, make sure you grab it and follow along, and we'll do some practicing together. It should be good fun. I hope some of the concepts that we go through today are useful, you know, and the last one went a lot better than I expected, so I hope you guys find them as interesting as I do, to be honest. Okie dokes, so last time in the live stream we did a little warm-up exercise that I like to call the spider. So it's a bit like this, isn't it? It's like pick any fret that you want and you go up chromatically, ensuring that you use one finger to a fret as the main crux of it, really, isn't it? You know, as the basis, the foundation of the exercise itself. So it's just a nice little warm up. Just helps get your hand in gear. Just helps everything flow a bit better. And yeah, it's just a good warm up. So we did something like this. Then we were starting on fret 1, and then we were just basically going up horizontally over the fretboard, moving, shifting up a fret, and then descending again. So. All that good stuff, right? I hope my tone's not a bit too crazy today. This amp's very weird in terms of its dynamics. Sometimes when you play it a bit too hard, it's like a lot louder than, see what I mean? But I don't know. If it's blowing your ears off, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know, and I'll try and keep it to a decent volume, a decent tone as well. So what I thought I'd show you today, okay? We're gonna do the spider, but this is like version 2.0 of the spider, okay? Very creatively entitled "The Moving Pyramids" by yours truly here. What's even going on? I don't know. Okay, what you do is basically you take that same concept of one finger to a fret, starting on fret 1, but this time we're going to shift it up. We start on the next string over on fret 2, okay? And then fret 3 and 4 and so on over each string. So this would sound a bit like this, wouldn't it? Okay, and then once you get to that position, descend again. But in like the inverse operation, do you know what I mean? So you're using a diagonal pattern, but descending this time, okay? Very nice. Okay, so this just makes that same exercise a little bit more harder, and follows on from the philosophy of, you know, just trying to like squeeze as much out of an exercise as you possibly can. with you playing, you know, it makes it a little bit more interesting, and it covers more of the fretboard and things, and just builds a different kind of muscle memory. And I think so. Once again, if you're starting off from fret 1, you count all the way up to fret 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then fret 2 to 5, fret 3 to 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, there, and then fret number 4 to 7, fret number 5 to 9, and then you should end up with your pinky on fret 10 up here on the high E string. And then from there, what we're going to do is we shift up maybe by 1 fret. So I go from fret 10 to 11, from fret 9 to 10, and then I descend. Okay, and then move that up one more again. So I've gone 10, and then the next one is going to start on the next string down, but on the 11th fret, and then the 12th, and then so on and so on. 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. So you should end with that first finger there on fret number 12 on the E string. Just a daft exercise, you know, there's no melodic integrity or anything like that. It's just to get your fingers nice and warmed up, and it's a good follow-on from the last thing that we did. Okay, you could do the same thing, couldn't you? But in reverse. So how about ascending? Let's say we start on, I don't know, fret 9 here with the first finger. We can ascend, okay, and then shift down a fret each time. So starting on fret 9, and then fret 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, okay, and then I'm going to run out of frets here, I can already see. We descend, so your pinky starts on fret number 6, right, and we end up on fret number 3 with the first finger. I've already run out of frets, so we might need to start that a bit higher. Why don't we start it up here instead? Perfect. Okay, cool. So starting on fret 12. Sorry, beg your pardon. 15 with the pinky. That seems to work because you've got enough space to like do that like reversed pyramid shape there. Hence the name. I know, I'm a creative genius. I know, it comes with the territory, obviously. Yeah, so that's another good way of bolstering that previous exercise that we did in the other live stream. So yeah, anyone who's watching now, I think we've got like 1 or 2 people watching. You know, thanks very much for joining. Just a quick just to reiterate what we were talking about earlier on. I'm doing this live stream just to document where I'm up to with my own practice, and also to kind of help my channel grow a bit, because I'm kind of in need of those watch time hours to increase. So that's why I'm doing this today. Unfortunately, right where I sit, usually there's a window right in front of me, okay, which wouldn't normally be a problem. However, the sun has decided to make an appearance in the UK, which never happens, and it blinds me, and also really messes up the lighting horrendously if I sit in my usual designated spot. So I'm a bit further over and a little bit more uncomfortable than I'd usually like to be. Hey, Slapping and Matty, lad, how's it going? You're just in time for all the juicy goodness, Matty. We're talking music theory, we're talking practice, and yeah, you know, just documenting where I'm up to. And obviously trying to get those juicy watch hours in as we crack on. Cool. So another way to expand that previous exercise that we were doing before, where we just take 4 random notes, really, doesn't matter, in any chromatic order, would be this really brilliant way of looking at it, which is brought to my attention by when I watched a Tom Quayle video the other day on Instagram, and this blew my mind in half. So he was like, why don't you can do those 4 note per string groupings, right? But try and think of it in terms of triplets. And I was like, just so good, man, so good. And this is like a whole other extension of the exercise now, because you're not only just getting a feel for the fretboard and warming up and all the other good stuff, but now you start to really feel internally note groupings and things like that. Tom Quayle is the man. He's a genius, obviously. So yeah, it was goes without saying that he comes up with the best exercises, of course. So he was doing something like this. taking note groupings of 4 but playing them in triplets. So the way I kind of approach this is, first of all, literally just say out the words as I'm going, say out each syllable. So evenly, okay, evenly, 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 evenly. And then evenly, 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 evenly. I must have missed one out there, hang on. Evenly, 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 evenly. Evenly, 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 evenly. There you go, that's better. So yeah, triplets, okay? Trying to feel out those note groupings is way harder than it looks and sounds, to be honest with you, when you're playing them over. Okay, I think I messed that up. I think I ended up reverting into 4s. It's just the way your hand wants to fall on the fretboard. Yeah, that was a bit better. That felt a bit more even then. Get it? Right. So yeah, again, with the triplets, good exercise, I think, especially when you're starting out, which is I am as well, is to try and verbalize the note grouping. So you can use any 3-syllable word that you want. Evenly is a good one, or actually indeed the word triplet. So triplet, triplet, triplet. Triplet, 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 triplet. There you go. That worked a bit better. And yeah, it's a well better version of what I was doing earlier on. It's really difficult. That I keep messing up, to be honest with you. When I get, I'm fine up to about, I don't know, the 3rd string. So a reason for that might be, quite simply, the way that I'm feeling out the notes is I'm coming down too hard on the next string over. So I'm going I'm trying to make the next note over the 1, which it shouldn't be. It should just be wherever the 1 falls under your fingers. So another thing that I thought of to try and get around that might be to try and examine exactly where the 1 falls with each individual finger. So the first one will be, if we started on fret number 5, that is beat 1, okay? Triplet, okay? And then by the time we get to fret number 7, that's the end of the first triplet. The next one starts again with the first tri in the triplet syllable starting on fret number 8 there with your pinky, okay? And then the next 2 would be triplet, like that. So pat and let goes fret 5 and then fret 6 on the next string over. Triplet, okay, so there's the first 2, triplet, triplet, okay. Again, trying not to emphasize the string change per se. We're just trying to emphasize where that 1 is each time. Dagada, 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 like that. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, okay. And then again, I think this is where I keep messing up. This is the tricky part now. Is the next triplet note grouping starts on fret number 7 on the D string. We go 7, 8, and then fret number 5 again on the next string. So it goes triplet, like that. Okay, triplet, triplet, triplet. Those are the first 3. Okay, the next 3 is actually quite easy because it just follows on. Middle ring and pinky on the next string. Okay. So that one, that felt quite nice, and that felt quite nice and flowing and even. Okay, the next one isn't too bad either because we just start fret number 5 and go up to 7, triplet, like that. There we go. That's on the B string there. If anyone is following along at home, triplet. There we go. All right, and then the next one is another killer. Okay, we start on fret number 8 with the pinky, and we go triplet. Okay, so that's fret number 8. Then we go fret 5 and then fret 6 on the E string. Okay, triplet. Okay, and the last one's a bit of a mad one as well because this is where the turnaround happens, as if you were starting to descend now in the same pattern. Okay, so we go triplet. So what happened there was we were on fret number 7. We played that for the tri, and then we hammered on fret number 8, pa. Okay, and then pulled off again. Let. Yes, no, Dom, how's it going? Hey, Dom, hope you're paying attention. Dom's a very good mate, and Dom's doing some guitar lessons with me at the minute. If anybody out there is watching or knows anybody that wants additional guitar lessons, just give us a shout. Funnily enough, a lot of what I'm doing now, I'll probably be showing Dom a bit later in the week. So, yeah, good stuff, man. So just to reiterate then, what we're doing is, for anybody who's just joining the stream, is we're going over no groupings of 4, but we're trying to play them in a triplet time feel, okay? I keep getting annoying notifications from WhatsApp. If I touch this screen, I hope it doesn't break the screen. Come on, go away. Yes, nice, okay. So yeah, we're going no groupings of 4 on strings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but we're playing them in this nice triplet swing. Okay, it's really a lot harder than it looks like. But as Tom Quayle said, he was like, well, this will really help improve your time feel, and especially when he's doing all those insane legato runs, I imagine it would help a great deal trying to get that like even flow, you know, because one of the main problems is if you're playing 3 note per strings, it's really easy to fall into that triplet pattern, but then once you come to like a chromatic run, maybe it'd be a lot harder to try and still maintain that triplet feel. So anyway, we got up to here, didn't we? We went fret 7, fret 8, and then fret 7 again for the next triplet. Okay, then on the descend, we go fret number 6, and then fret number 5. Okay, so that's tri, pa, and then let starts number 3. So that's the end of that triplet on fret number 8 on the B string. Tri, pa, let, like that. So tri, pa, let, okay? Crazy stuff. And then fret number 7, we go tri, pa, let. That's an easy one, just a nice little descend in it, from 7 to 5. Okie dokes. Trying to follow along. Oh, don't worry, don't worry. And if anyone's watching, don't feel beholden to maintain watching. By the way, I'm literally just doing this to up the watch time, and just to, you know, for this kind of stuff as well. It's just good for me because it holds me accountable to maintain good practice and stuff like that. Which I haven't been doing enough of, you know what I mean? I reckon I've done something like 3,000 hours of practice. Can I suggest omelette as a triplet verbal? Oh, Matty Every with the genius maneuvers again, of course. Omelette, yeah, so good. Do you know what I hate about that though? Like, I throw an A sound in there. Omelette. What's going on? My stream has been hijacked by verbal wizardry. What was I saying? Right, yeah, so I reckon I've done about 3,000 hours of practice, and they say to attain like mastery or whatever, it's got to be like 10,000 hours or something like that, isn't it? So I think I ran the maths on that, and if I do something like, I don't know, something crazy, I think it's like 10 hours a week, 10 hours practice a week, or maybe even a bit more than that. By the time I'm like 40, I think I'll hit that 10,000 hour wall. So yeah, I'm not mastering the guitar anytime soon, so it's good. I like doing practice with you guys as well, because, you know, I'm still on my learning journey, definitely, and it holds me accountable, and it's good because I think it's nice to learn with other people and, you know, share ideas and concepts and things. There might be stuff that I'm doing today that guys watching on the stream, and girls, but let's be honest, it's mainly guys. I think my demographic is something like 98% male. So there you go. You know, that people might tell me like, oh, Rob, that's wrong. How about this? How about that? You know, did you actually mean a C sharp instead of a D flat there, Rob? And all that good stuff. Anyway, I forget where we were up to. So I think we ended up on here, weren't we? Fret number 5, okay? So, on my let, okay? Yeah, and then the next one's not too bad either, because the next omelette or triplet formation starts on fret number 8, and then we descend 3 notes. Triplet, omelette, okay? The next one's a bit of a killer because we go, the start triplet is on number 5 there, okay? Which is on the G string, and then the next 2 fall on the D string on number 8 and 7. That's a bit of a killer. Omelette. Okay, next one's a bit of a tough boy as well. We go 1, 2, 3. So 6, 5, and then 8 again on the A string. Okay, and then lastly, that's easy enough. We just go. So there we go. So yeah, again, fitting these patterns in is kind of tricky. I'm looking at just using like triplet style metronomes, and then trying to play along with that. But yeah, this is definitely tricky stuff for me. Lots more practice required on this. What's weird as well is if I don't pick any of the notes going down, it feels easier to get in that swing for some bizarre reason. I don't know why. That might just be a quirk of my cognition there. Quirk of cognition, modern trendy band names, you know what's up. And also, weirdly, if I ascend just picking every note, that feels more even as well. I think that's because you get a nice swing in the motion of your hand when you do that, so you can accent da-ga-da, 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 da, and that's become easy to remember just because I've played so many bloody triplet patterns, or you know, in my guitaring years. So maybe they would be good jumping off points if anyone's struggling as much as me out there. The next thing I thought about for this, right, is using again the pyramid technology that we talked about earlier on. Some of the things that get said on these streams is just ridiculous. Pyramid technology, what is going on? It's doing the same thing, right? And then we just start on the next fret over. So you're getting that, you're getting both horizontal and vertical movement up the fretboard there. So 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 da 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 da. Oh my god. There we go. Okay, got there in the end. It's tricky stuff, man. Should we get a click track up and we'll try and play along with that? Follow along at home. Okay, here we go. What are we going to say? I don't know, 120 BPM to start off with. That might be a bit slow, 120 BPM. Triplet. Okay, triplets, let's go. Let's see what this is sounding like. Let's see what this is saying. An error occurred. Okay, that's good, isn't it? Do I not have it? I mean, there's no way I don't have internet access because obviously I'm live streaming right now, so I don't know why that might be the case. Has the internet broken? No, I think it's just being a divvy. Oh, well, that's very slow. I don't know why that's happening. There we go. Here we go. I'm getting loads of adverts for like Adobe Premiere and shit. There we go. It's come to life now. It's just insanely slow for some reason. I've got like a very poor connection. I wonder if that's because I'm live streaming, to be honest with you. Maybe it's chewing up all the bandwidth, I don't know. Anyway, let's see if we can play along with this. Let's have a go. Da-ga-da, da-ga-da, da-ga-da. Ready, kids? Okay, starting on fret number 5 on the A string. Here we go. And again. Not bad. Alright, let's try again with some more legato. Da-ga-da, 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 da-ga-da. I think what's happening as well is that my Bluetooth connection's getting interrupted and we're missing out beats, which is not good. Like that. Da-ga-da, 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 da-ga-da. Oh, tricky. Okay. I wonder if we can bump it up. Also, do you know what I'm going to do? Go back to the good old copper wires, because we've never had this problem before Bluetooth came out. So, what a pain. What a pain. Right, here we go. Copper wires going in. Also, just for a moment of hilarity on this stream, I know you can't see me face.
Mode.
You can't see me face, can you? Hey, Billy! But my audio, not my audio interface, my power amp, which has Bluetooth enabled, is called a knob sound, which I think is quite humorous, to be honest with you. I think that's marginally funny. Okay, let's see if this works a bit better now. There we go. Low latency, no lag. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Okay, cool. Let's bump that up. Let's see if we can go like, I don't know. What have we got? Let's do 140, shall we? 140 BPM. Triplets. Okie dokies. It's got 144 BPM. Okay, let's take that. I'll take it. I'll take whatever I can get. Yeah, the interwebs is not liking what I'm doing here at all. It's totally freaking out. But yeah, that's the basic concept anyway, guys. So you just keep that rolling. And then I hope over a long period of time after practicing this, what happens is your muscle memory starts to kick in, and you just start to feel that like swing in there, you know, as you're going along. There we go. It's trying to do something now. Oh my god, I'm moving the camera and everything. This has gone disastrously. Look at this. I'm breaking everything. Break stuff. Who was that song by? Wasn't that Limp Bizkit? Give me something to break. Oh, Limp Bizkit, what a band. Okie dokes. I'm hoping this actually works in a minute. Yeah, okay, let's see what this sounds like. Oh boy. I don't know if we're going to be able to cope, guys, okay? With me, if you're following along at home, get your guitar, get your piano, whatever. We're just doing chromatic movements. No group into 4 in a triplet feel, starting on fret number 5 on the A string. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Ooh, not bad. Definitely easier with picking, I think, personally. I really lost the feel for that one. 3, 4. Yeah, I'm losing the feel of this really badly. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and... Going up again, a lot harder than coming down for some reason. Okay, let's try it again, but let's go, instead of doing this diagonal pattern, we're just going across the strings. Okay, 2, 1, 2, 3, here we go. Nice, 2, 3, 4, and... Mess it up. Oh. Tricky stuff, man, really hard. So yeah, if you guys are smashing that at home, well done, you're doing better than me. I'm going to definitely keep practicing that because that's so fun. It's so satisfying when that falls into your fingers for some reason. We have a grand total of 4 humans watching. Hello. I love you all very much. Thank you very much for joining in. You don't have to watch this, obviously. I'm just bumping up the old watch time hours, and I'm holding myself accountable, as they like to say on the interwebs these days, just to try and get myself, you know, practicing a bit more and exploring new concepts. What's that Pat Metheny thing? He's like, you know, he says, practice what you don't know. I saw that on a Rick Beato video as well, because he's the man, isn't he? He's our Lord and Saviour of music. Yeah, you know, practice what you don't know. Just try and keep expanding and just keep it simple, keep pushing forward. Okie dokies. Right. So, next thing that I was going to move on to was this, again, an extension of what we did last time. I think me and Dom covered this actually recently as well, on chord inversions. Okay, so last time I think we went over this awesome Rick Graham concept of well, how many different chords do you know on the fretboard? So if I was to say, okay, can we play a -7 chord? How many different ways can you play that on the fretboard? Okay, well his first one was like that, and then the second one was using these next 4 strings, and then his last one, super duper. So he obviously came up with this concept, and then he moved it all over the fretboard of just you know, using different chord inversions, and thus expanding your chord knowledge like by about 3 or 4 times. If you don't get anything else from this lesson today, stick around for this one, because this is really, really useful, okay, for songwriting or just new fresh chord ideas and stuff like that. Just to reiterate then, so useful defo, Dom, 100% mate, yeah. Dom knows. So last time we did this with a -7 chord. Today, I went away, did a bit of research, and we're going to do it with a little bit of a major 7 chord vibe instead. Whoa. Oh, Jesus, genius. Okay, so last time we were doing this kind of stuff. By the way, this is that original thing that I covered in the last live stream. That was a Rick Graham idea, and he's got a whole lesson on it. So for more detail, I'd recommend checking that out. And basically, all he was doing is taking a -7 chord, and basically, you know, when we're talking about these upper extensions, when we're saying -7, okay, don't worry too much about that. It sounds more fancy than it is. All that means is a minor chord, and we're playing a -7th as well on top of it to give it more flavour, give it more sound. So a standard minor chord might sound a bit like this. Okay, a -7 chord might sound a bit like this. Okay, so it's got a little bit more jazzy. I hate that word, jazzy. That's like no jazz musician would ever use that word, would they? But I'm not a jazz musician, so I'm gonna use it. It sounds more jazzy. It's got a more rich texture. Do you know what's happened here? Oh, my fret wrap thing that I put on here sometimes to make me play better is stuck to the floor. It's Velcro to the ground, guys. You don't need that when you're trying to live stream, do you? It's just not good. So yeah, a -7 chord or a minor chord. Okay, yeah. You know, some people might only know like a few different ways to play that. So if I would say G minor or G -7 chord, it'd be like, oh, there's one, and then maybe there's another one. You know what I mean? And that's like, oh crap, where's the rest? Do you know what I mean? There's definitely more on the fretboard than there is. There's more all over the place. So his method was to use this soprano, tenor, alto, bass kind of voicing for each chord, using 4 different strings at a time. Okay, so the first chord would be like this. Okay, so basically again G -7. I'm going barring all the way across there, and then my ring finger's going on there. I'm just playing the top 4 strings. Okay, so that's the first inversion. That would be in root position. Okay, sorry, not first inversion. That's root position. The next inversion would be starting on the 5th here. Yeah. It's just exactly the same shape, except we're missing out the low string, and then we're playing also the B string on this one. Okay, and the last one is just really simple. You just bar all the way across those last 4 strings. There you go. Okay. So yeah, if you want to check that out, go on my last live stream, or go and actually search for the Rick Graham video called How to Expand Your Chord Vocabulary. What we're going to do today is we're going to harp on the same kind of technology, but instead of -7 chords, we're going to use major 7 chords. Okay, so again, let's form a G major 7 chord shape here. Okay, the way I'm voicing that is I'm using all 4 strings. So I'm going to go root G here. Okay, then the 5th above D. Okay, then I'm going to go the 7th, the major 7th in this case, which is the F sharp. Okay, and And then I'm going to go on top of that, I'm going to do the third here, which is a B note, okay, and that's going to be on the G string. Lovely stuff, okay. And that's your first voicing for that G chord, okay, G major 7. And then the next one is going to be, I'm basically going to take this index finger off and move it to the same fret but on the B string. Okay, and that's our next voicing. Okay, and then the last voicing I think would be this. Really pretty. Okay, so there you go. You've got 3 different chords out of that one shape now. Do you know what I mean? Now you know how to play a G major or a G major 7 chord in 3 different ways instead of just one. Okay, which is really nice. Okay, now we do the same thing, but we build it on the third of the chord. So roughly speaking, I think this would be the first inversion of the chord. That would be root position. Okay, and then third inversion, I find the major third in the scale. 1, 2, 3, there we go. And then we're going to start building it on there. Now the question is, do I remember how to play this? So that would be really useful. Okay, let's just have a quick think here. So B being the third, yeah, major third, that's good. The next note, that's a G, yeah, 1. Okay, so that's the root note G, G major 7, there you go. Third, 1, G, okay. Number 3, B again, just as an octave, and then D here. So this one kind of doesn't have the major 7 interval in it, but doesn't matter because we'll get to that in the next one. This just helps us conform to that 4-string approach that's vital for this exercise, okay. So there's another way to voice the same chord, okay? Then we can do the same thing again, and this one does include the major 7, okay? So it's going to go, there we go, what did we have there? G there, so that's 1, 3, B, 5, just a standard, that's a standard way to voice that in root position, isn't it? Okay, we've all seen that one before. And then the major 7 comes up here, which would be the 7th fret on the B string. Really nice. I like that voicing. So that's another way of voicing that G major 7 chord there. Okay, and then the last one is going to be like this. Okay, which is basically, it looks like a minor chord, to be honest with you. It looks like a B minor chord. Okay, and then we're just going to add this note on top here. So I'm going to go, let's talk about the frets on this for anyone, because I'm conscious of the fact that people might not be able to see very well at home. So we've got 7, 8, 9 there. Okay, then we're going to place our ring finger. Then we're going to bar all the way across the 7th fret. Okay, on the next 3 strings with our index finger. And then we're going to put our pinky finger up here on fret number 10. Okay. And that includes the that includes the 5th there. Okay. Nice. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. So there we go. We've got 6 chords out of 1 so far. And now here's another 3. We're going to do the exact same thing, but based on the 5th now. So this is, again, loosely the 2nd inversion of the chord. We had root position. Okay. We had 1st inversion. And now we're going to do, built off the 5th. Yeah, we're going to do the 2nd inversion of the chords. Okay. Okay, this is really pretty. I like this one very much. Sounds nice, that. So we're going to do, we're starting with the 5th then, so there's the D note. Okay, then we go and play a G here, number 1. Okay, then the 3rd, so the major 3rd, the B is there. And then that, yeah, and then this next one, the 7th, major 7th, which is the F sharp. Oh, hang on. It'd have to go like that, wouldn't it? Yeah, my mistake there. No, sorry, my mistake. It's 2 notes up, there we go. That's what it is, there we go. Okay, so those fret positions then. We've got 10 on the E string, with our middle finger. That's how I play it anyway. And then we've got 10 on the A string with my ring finger. Okay, then I've got this note here, which is going to be 9 on the D string, and then I'm putting my pinky up here, 11 on the G string. Okay, that's really, really nice. That's nice. The cool thing about this is, even if you're not that interested in the theory and stuff going on behind it, which is totally fine, in my opinion, you know, I don't think that matters if you know music theory. The only thing that matters is, can you make beautiful noises? Can you express yourself musically? Well, the cool thing about these kinds of exercises is you could just get inspired by hearing a new chord sound, you know what I mean? And want to like write a whole tune off there. And then what if we change to like a... You know, so you can have fun and mess around with them. Okay, the next position then is we're going to use the middle 4 strings, obviously. So we're going to go. Yeah, and then yeah, cool. So we've got this one is now voiced like this. Very pretty, very nice voice in this, I think. So we've got fret 10 with our middle finger on the A string, fret number 9 on the D string, okay, with our index finger, fret number 11 on the G string with our ring finger, and then our pinky is going to go on fret number 12 up on the B string. Lovely stuff. Okay, and then lastly, we're just going to play this chord, which is all the same notes as what we've been playing in a different order, and it actually creates this B minor chord, right? Okay, so you might be saying, well, Rob, what the hell is going on there? Because how can a B minor chord have the same notes as that G major 7 chord? Well, simply because it has the same notes. That's it. It's the same notes. It's just in a different order. Okay. And what they often do in jazz and stuff is they mix around the chords, and they do something called a chord substitution, where they move one chord in place of another and things like that, which I'll get onto in a little bit. Okay, was there anything else I wanted to jump in on this? I don't think so. And that was everything for that. So yeah, that's a cool exercise. There we go. We've got 9 chords from 1 there. There you go. What a bargain! Cheap as chips. I'm using these Jazz 3-plex. Jazz 3-plex as well. I don't know. What do you guys like? Do you guys like chunky plex, or do you like thin, pointy boys? Or what? What's your favourite kind of plectrum to use? I don't know. It feels quite nice. At first it was like, wow, that's really difficult and that's making things hard to play, but actually I think it sounds alright, to be honest. And now it's starting to really feel natural to play with it, and it's a little bit faster and a little bit more accurate. So yeah, I would definitely recommend. I'd definitely recommend getting thinner, harder plex. Okay, and I've heard a lot of other guys talking about the same thing as well. Is that for some reason in the long term benefits you playing? So there you go. The more you know, eh? I'll probably get sick of it in a week and go back to a different play. So there we go. These chord inversions then, you know, important to learn, because different chord voicings allow you to access just, I don't know, I think more beautiful sounds, to be honest with you, over the fretboard. I was watching this Rick Beato video the other day, and he's going over his top 10 tunes from the Spotify pop playlist, and he's talking about that Justin Bieber song is dead common chord progression. It's actually in concert pitch as well. So he goes chord 4, chord 3, chord 2, and then chord 1. It's called Peaches. He's banging on about getting weed from California and all this. Like, I don't care, Justin. Do you know what I mean? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care where you get your dope from. But yeah, and then Rick starts like comping over it, and it sounds flipping amazing. So he starts doing this kind of stuff, and then he goes like, I'm messing it up. was like, what? That's amazing. What's going on there? How does it sound so much better than anything I can do? And then you look into like these chords, right? Ba-da-ba-ba. So like okay, and they're just basic inversions of exactly all the chords that we know in a standard major scale, but they're just voiced a little bit differently, and they just sound nice because they're just orchestrated on different frets, on different strings rather, on the fretboard. So for example, this first chord here is just a 2 minor chord. Okay, just in a different inversion. Okay, this one here, if I was to go like that, that's actually just a 5 chord, right? It's just missing that low note. Similarly, he plays this kind of dude like this. Sorry, my mistake. Nice, wrong frets. I meant to do that, you see. I just meant to slide up to it. And all that is, that's a 4 chord, right? But instead of playing it as like a major 7, he's playing it as like a major 6 kind of thing. Like that. But again, just missing that low note. So this is why these inversions are really important, and it just expands your vocabulary massively. And the more you get used to playing these different inversions, the more your ear will be able to latch on and recognize when you're hearing this crazy kind of stuff in like fusion and jazz playing and stuff where they use very beautiful, rich chord sounds. Kind of feel cheated as well, you know, because coming from like a kind of a rock pop background and upbringing, I didn't really have much influence of like jazz and classical in my formative years. Do you know what I mean? It was stuff that you discover later on as you start to really get into music and really find the beauty in it. Let alone even like world music, let alone like, you know, Indian music with microtonal harmony and all this amazing stuff. So now it's like, I feel like I'm playing catch up, do you know what I mean? I'm sure a lot of you guys might be able to relate. You know, because it's like, well, you've got to learn all this crazy harmony and stuff after the fact, as opposed to it being something that you were kind of like brought up with, and your ear isn't really used to hearing this kind of stuff. But that's where your ear training comes in, which we'll get onto in a bit, a bit later on. So yeah, and then I played with these other 2 chords, right? It was like that again, which is just 6 minor, right? Yeah, in the key of C, but it's just missing that low note. It's actually that. It's a G minor chord, right? Which in the key 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, sorry. It'd be like a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, then that's a totally different chord in and of itself. So that's a chord sub, isn't it? He's playing a 5 minor chord there instead of a major chord or a dominant chord, which is what it should be. And that happens a lot as well. That's one of those common chord substitutions. In fact, right, this is a great segue. Let's move on to chord substitutions. This is what I'm kind of like learning and getting my head around at the minute, and I'm going to try and explain it in more of a basic way because I'm more of a basic bitch, to be honest with you. So okay, so you know, this is one of those things that I'm kind of like, again, just, I wouldn't say playing catch up on, but you know, this is the stuff that I'm doing now to kind of like expand my repertoire and build new knowledge in these areas. So chord subs, okay, that one there, which is like, what was that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be a 5 chord, right? But it's actually being changed into that minor chord. Okay, so I think that's quite a common chord switcheroo. Okay, I think they do that a lot in this jazz world. So I'll talk you through the stuff I've got written down here because I want to get through it all because I think it's all interesting. Okay, 6 minor being replaced by a dominant 7 chord. Okay. So let's take this. I saw this awesome guy teaching this lesson on this, and gosh golly, if I can't remember his name again, what was his name? I don't think he had. He introduced himself at the start of the video, but he literally his website and his channel's called something like Learn Jazz Standards. That's what it's called, Learn Jazz Standards. Boss, just really like tasteful, easy way to get your teeth in to this kind of like, you know, crazy jazz world if you're not versed in any of it and you want to learn it. So yeah, I would recommend him. So common chord sub then, a 6 minor being replaced by a dominant 7 chord. Okay. So he takes this like really standard chord progression, which is again, let's do it in concert pitch. It's like a 1, 6, 2, 5, right? Really, really common, dead standard there. Heart and soul. Don't want to sing because you might get demonetized. Is that even that? I don't know. It might be. I don't know. It mightn't be. Anyway, that's a really common chord progression. That's, you know, a 1. So chord number 1. In the key of C major is C major. Chord number 6. It's a 6 minor chord. Okay, so the 6th chord's always a minor. Chord number 5, beg your pardon, 2 is a minor, and then chord number 5 is always a dominant chord or a major chord. So what they do sometimes, right, is again, I didn't know this. This is brand new information to me. I'm still learning as I'm going, picking up new things. Is they sometimes replace that 6th chord with a dominant 7 chord sound. Okay, sounds really cool. So now instead the progression sounds a little bit more like this. Whoa. It's so nice, just a simple change, you know, but it really does something. What about so what about now the chord progression sounds kick-ass? Yeah. Really nice. Again, just little subtle changes make it sound really, really cool. So going on then, he goes on to say why that chord gets changed around. Okay. And the reason is, the reason being is, I can't remember what he said actually. I think it's just because those notes are all very similar to the notes here. No, it's not. I know exactly what it is. I'm talking crap, isn't it? It's what's called a secondary dominant substitution. That's what it is. Okay, got there in the end. It's not because the notes are similar at all. They're not similar. They're very different. That's the whole point. Let's talk about what a secondary dominant substitution is then, really quick. Okay, this is quite an advanced concept as well, so don't worry about it if it's tricky. Okay, but just try and stick with me. So. Secondary dominant substitution. Let's talk about standard diatonic harmony for a start. That's the first place to start in, okay? So if I'm in concert pitch, if I'm in the key of C, all of these nodes on the C major scale, this is how I like to think about it anyway, have not just a note associated with them, but also a whole chord associated with them. So each one of those now has a chord associated with them. The first one is C major. Okay, the next one, D minor, the next one, E minor, the next one, 4 chord major chord, is an F major, the next one, a G chord, which is the 5 chord, would be G major or G7. Okay, the A chord, which is the 6th chord, is a minor. Okay, 7 is a diminished chord, and then lastly we return to our major to complete the tonality. Okay, so each one of those notes, as I've just demonstrated, has a chord associated with it. It goes major, minor, minor, major, dominant, minor, diminished, major, again, back home again on number 8. Okay, now a secondary dominant chord is very simple, really, in its ideation, but can be a bit tricky to kind of wrap your head around because it doesn't really make any sense. I thought so anyway. It didn't really make that much sense at first, but let's take it break down step by step. So in that example that I had before, where the 6th chord, which is that A note there, right? Okay. Instead of an A note, we're going to play a dominant 7 chord. We're going to go like that. Okay, because it sounds really cool, doesn't it? Okay. So I'm literally just swapping out a chord that should be there for a chord that's not meant to be there, right? This is usually called modal interchange, okay? But in this case, it can be explained using this concept of a secondary dominant. All secondary dominant means is that each one of these notes on our major scale, okay, has like a secret chord associated with it, okay? If we go a 5th above any one of those notes, there exists a dominant 7 chord, okay? So, for example, C, count up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, which is going to be G, okay? That's going to be a G dominant 7 chord, right? Okay. Similarly, if I go up to the next note on our scale, which is D, okay, D minor. If I count 5 above D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, I also have this dominant chord, okay, which is now available, which would be A dominant. Okay. The same thing applies for all of these. The 3rd note, go up 5, dominant chord there. The 4th, go up 5, there's a dominant chord there. The 6th, go up 5, there's a dominant chord there, and so on and so forth. Okay. Then these are given a specific name. Okay. So, again, using the 2nd note as an example, go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We've got our secret dominant chord. That is called a 5 of 2, okay? So what I'm saying is, a dominant chord, right? The 5 above that note, and then the second part of 2 refers to whatever note originally we were talking about, okay? A little bit complicated, and I hope I'm explaining it well. But, yeah, that's all it means. So, when we have this common chord substitution of, there's chord 1, okay, and we go to chord 6, but we change it to that beautiful dominant tonality. Okay, it's explained via this notion of a secondary dominant. What secondary dominant is it? Well, it's a 5 above the 2nd note in our major scale, which would be D. Okay, and I count up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and that is our dominant chord there. That's the 5 of 2. So if I play this chord instead of the regular chord, which should be this, if I play this instead, that can be explained as a 5 of 2 secondary dominant substitution. Okay, a little bit crazy, but just to reiterate, the 2nd note, go up 5, that's my dominant, so it's a 5 of 2. What dominant is it? It's A. So now when I'm playing an A dominant chord instead of an A minor chord in the key of C, that can be called a secondary dominant. Again, hope I'm explaining that well. It's pretty tricky, but yeah, there we go. Common chord substitutions, and you can do those substitutions anywhere. So the way I like to think of it is a 5th above any of the notes in the scale that you're playing or in the key that you're playing, a 5th above any of those notes or chords. exist these dominant chords that are also available now. Okay, so this is kind of like, you've got your diatonic harmony, and this is like one step outside of it again, like that. Okay, Dom, if you're still here, I hope you're paying attention, because I'll be quizzing you. So yeah, that's a common chord substitution, you know, using a secondary dominant, which is swapping, it's basically subbing in a chord that is a fifth above another chord. Okay, and if it's a dominant chord, it's called a secondary dominant. There you go. Simples, really. Okay, and that's why you get that cool sound going on there, because we've swapped out a chord that shouldn't really be there for this one. Just a little side note on this as well, I can't help shake the idea that this is just a bunch of stuff that was made up after the fact to try and justify these cool sounds. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like somebody just went, oh, that sounds really cool, let's use that, and then music theory was bent and changed around it to explain it, so that it had some congruency, and it had some you know, consistency with all the other music theory that we know. Okay, or that was known at that point. I could be talking complete nonsense there, and that was there at the earliest inception of Western harmony and stuff like that. But I can't help but shake that sneaking suspicion that maybe this was just an additional justification for that, you know. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say, well, music theory is just descriptive terminology, it's not prescriptive. It means, you know, it's there to explain what you're hearing, as opposed to it's a rule book by which you must follow, you know, you have to follow the rules and stuff like that, which I like thinking of it in that way as well, because it's far more freeing, but still good to know. And, you know, again, this is just really a lot of music theory. I watched this Adam Neely video the other day, and he explains in it that a lot of music theory is just like based on, you know, 18th century Western harmony, which is quite a narrow scope if you think about it, because there's all these other incredible ways of analysing music. Think about Japanese music, you know, Indian music, African music, you know, these are all worth, you know, investigating. So more work to do there. Definitely have a listen to some microtonal harmony as your homework. Okie doke. Moving on then. So the next chord substitution that is quite common is oh, this is a peach. You're gonna like this one if you love your jazz harmony stuff. Is dominant 7 flat 9 chords replaced by a diminished sharp 1. What am I talking about? Okay, sounds crazy. It's not. This is much simpler than the last concept that we went over. Okay, so sharp 1 replaces the 6 chord. Okay, so if we look at, again, using our diatonic approach to our C major scale here, and all the chords that are available in it, we can ascertain that chord number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is going to be that A minor sound. Okay. Now, instead of playing that as the chord in our sequence that we've been using, so instead of going, okay, you can do this instead. You can go really nice. Okay, so what's going on there? Well, the sharp 1 in the key of C major is C sharp, right? Okay, and you play that as a C sharp diminished chord. Sorry, so it should sound like that. I was playing a half diminished before. It should be a full diminished chord. Okay, in place of going to the 6 chord. Okay, so instead of going 1 6 2 5, we're gonna go 1 sharp 1 2, 5. Okay. Reason being is that beautiful, that beautiful sharp 1 diminished sound has all of the exact same notes, really, more or less, as the 6th chord. Okay. I've written it down. I've written it down for myself more than anybody else. So chord 6 has these notes in it, in the key of C major, right? It's got A, G, C sharp and E, right? Because it's a minor chord, okay? And the C sharp diminished 7 chord, okay? This guy has almost all of the exact same notes except for one different one. It's got an E, it has a G, and yeah, it's got a C sharp as well. It's just one note different. So that's why that chord substitution exists. You can go instead of, okay, very nice. Moves me on to the next one, which is probably the most simple chord substitution, which I think we touched on a little bit earlier on. I think I could be mistaken there, maybe we didn't actually, but this is called the 3 chord replacing the 1 chord. Okay, so that chord progression there is used in a jazz standard called rhythm changes. Okay, and what they do in this, which is kind of cool, to freshen up that the movement of the chords there, they go so they'd rather go, I think. Okay, the first time round it's just that, so it goes chord 1, yeah, chord 2, chord 6, chord 2, and chord 5. And the second time round, instead of playing the 1, they play the third, they play the minor third. Okay, so that minor chord is now there in place of the 1, so it goes, oh, hang on, and then back to 1 again. Okay, so the whole progression would sound something like this. Okay, really cool, man. Love it, love it. I need to really make a study of these jazz standards because I love them. I think they're amazing. There's so many to learn in so little time. So why does that happen then? Why can we replace chord 1 with chord 3 minor? Again, I think this is just because it has really similar chord tones again. So all the notes used in this chord are all of the notes that are used in this chord, or at least most of them are exactly the same. Okay, they're just switched around. Again, leads us back to the idea that knowing these chord inversions are really important and really helpful and useful to us. Okie dokes. Last one then is no, actually not the last one. I want to do a few more. Tritone substitution. Okay. What this means is any dominant 7 chord that you have, if you go up a tritone, you can play another dominant 7 chord and it will work. That's as much as I know about it. So in case of our rhythm changes kind of jam that we've got going on here, we can go something like this. We can go, and then instead of playing that one, tritone substitution, so go up a tritone, which would be here, and we could play a dominant 7 chord there. So we could go, really nice. Okay, and that works for all the dominant 7 chords. You can go up a tritone and then replace it with another dominant 7 chord. Okay, so that's your tritone interval. Okay, to find a tritone as well, here's a cool little bit of theory for you there. So you go up a minor third and then go up a minor third again. There you go, and that's your tritone. You know, your flat 5 or your augmented 4th. It's all the same thing, isn't it? Really, it's the enharmonic equivalent. Word of the day, people. Enharmonic means the same. Means different things referring to the same thing. Chromatic 2/5s then. This is another common one that they do. Again, all of this stuff I'm using from Learn Jazz Standards. Yes, now Seth Lid, how you doing? Seth, don't worry, by the way, I'm going to jump on. Me and Seth are YouTube pals big time at the minute, for anybody who's interested, and Seth wants me to do some guitar for his next super mega awesome YouTube video, so that's what I'll be doing right after I've done this live stream today. Okay, chromatic 2/5s then. So again, I learned all this stuff, everything I'm talking about here in terms of these chord subs, I learned from that Learn Jazz Standards guy. I'm really crap at names, aren't I? I couldn't remember Ross Campbell's name last time. But what I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to go back and like make a list of of things that I need to amend from that last live stream, because I said so much stuff that was like, what are you talking about? I think it might have been a mixture of nerves and stuff, to be honest. Made a lot of errors on there, so I'm going to just make a little list and say, by the way, when I said this, I actually meant the exact opposite. So yeah, these are called 2/5, chromatic 2/5s, okay? So a 2/5 movement is really common in jazz. We go chord number 2. So again, in C major, that would be D minor. Okay, chord 5, B G G7, and then chord 1 C major. Really nice. Okay. Okay, but something that they do as like quite a common, it's like more like a turnaround kind of thing, is they go up and they play chord 2 here, chord 5 here, chord 2 here, chord 5 here, and then return to 1. Okay? And weird. Yeah, again, I think they just do that for additional harmonic richness, you know, more of a vibe there. Quite a common thing. Really pretty. And there's another one that I keep seeing everywhere, and I keep seeing people doing this, and I don't know what the hell it is. So, yes, now Rob Shredden. Oh, hello, Tom. What's happening? So here's another. Seth, you might be able to help me out on this one, because I keep seeing this everywhere. I have no idea what it is, but I love it. Okay, so from what I understand is if you're playing chord 1, you know, I don't know, you're playing a standard chord progression, chord 1, chord 3, okay, and then chord 6. And then instead of chord 5, I see people doing this kind of stuff. And then resolve into 1 again. So, I don't really know why that is the case. I don't really know why people do that. From what I can see though, it's like, well, that whole thing is actually in the key of C, that would be an F chord, right? Okay, and then they just swap it out and do a G on the bass. So all of that actually does work, and you get that plagal harmony movement there. 4/1 or you know 5/1, I guess, depending on how you're looking at it. Yeah, so I'm not really entirely sure why that works or why people do it, but it does, and it sounds boss. So more research needed there, I suppose. But yeah. Cool, man. Okay. That's all the stuff that I'm kind of getting my teeth into at the minute. I'm just trying to expand my knowledge of harmony, jazz harmony in particular. Okay. All right then. What did we want to go into next? I guess now would be a good time to just have a crack at a backing track, because I haven't done that on a stream yet. Oh yeah, another thing I've been looking at is like playing triads during improv instead of just like letting these scalar runs fly on the fingers. That's a Ross Campbell idea, definitely. Well, he was the one that I have seen do it. So really trying to target like those. Let's have a think. He was going like what was it like in D, we've got chord 1, chord 5 major, chord 6 minor, and then chord 4 major. You know, that really common 4 chord progression. And he's saying, okay, well, as you're doing that, really try and target the chord tones to get that kind of rich, beautiful harmonic sound. So like for that first one, okay, you know, try and hit like the major third. Don't worry too much about the fifth, you know. I hit the major 7th there and stuff. For this one, again, I'm just trying to outline the triad. So maybe there's a root, minor 3rd, and then 5. So. I love that. It's our calendar, and it has a new dog on every month. This month's dog is what the hell is that? What is that dog called? A Westie? Is that it? Come on, guys. You know what dogs are. You know what dogs are. You can't be fooling me. So yeah, like. This kind of like melodic concept to get that really juicy melodic sound is really good. I'd recommend it on your improv. Not that I always remember or can think of how to do it. Yes, it's a crib. Ah, a crib. Okay. And you know, yeah, just bear that kind of stuff in mind. Trying to outline the triads and stuff for that more melodic sound. As opposed to just letting your fingers fly, you know what I mean? As opposed to just like, yeah! You know, that's cool as well, though. We all enjoy a bit of that, don't we? All right, let's let it all hang out on a backing track, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I've heard this backing track before. I have. So I'm not going in cold. Let's put a bit of crunch on as well. I think we're going to do like a kind of a Dorian thing. Let's see what it is. Let's have a look. You have, yeah, it's like a Dorian backing track. So, okay, let's have a look. See, the best approach to guitar is just playing the minor pentatonic chords. Yeah, exactly. Dan Fiorian, guys, totally. Just, you know, don't even worry about any sense of melody or anything like that. Just go. You know what I'm saying? Okay. That's all you got to do. That is how you achieve musical greatness. So I think the chords in this backing track go A minor and then D. So that's that classic Dorian sound, right? So we got. Let's have a go. Fuck it. Let's swear it. Let's have a go. Don't demonetize me. Let's have a go. All right. Seth, I didn't catch your comment then, mate. Hit me again. For God's sake, come on. Yeah! I ain't afraid of no ghost. Anyway, you know, you get the idea. It's music, innit? It's musics. I hope that was coming through all right then, because I can't imagine the audio is wonderful there. What's going on with a lot of what I was doing then? To be honest with you, I was just kind of like feeling out the music and just letting my ear guide me. So, oh, nice one. Thank you, Dan. I assume it's Dan. Thank you very much, Dan. You know, what's going on there is like, yeah, I'm just using my ear more than anything, to be honest with you, to try and find these kinds of things. I'm not thinking too hard about the chords floating by, but here are some things that I am thinking about, okay? Obviously, I know my Dorian mode, there you go. And once we have combined into one being, we have watched it. It's kind of like, I'm knowing my Dorian position. Hiya, Dan. I know my Dorian mode for A, right? Things to note about that and why it sounds cool is that it has that raised sixth note in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, major 6. Okay, it's not that standard minor. Okay, you can probably play standard minor over this. It wouldn't sound too crap, but to get that Dorian sound, especially up here, like that's really cool. Okay. I don't know what happened there, but you know. Yeah, and then it's like, okay, cool, so you know it in one position. Okay, now do you know it in your other positions? It's like, well, the way to test that is like, okay, what's the root of this key? And it'd be like this. That's G major, right? Dan, no comment, by the way. And it's like, that's cool because the second mode in the G major scale is A Dorian, right? It's all the exact same notes, you just start in here. Okay, so that's one position dealt with. You get dealt with, don't you? Has anybody seen that Ross Kempon Gangs thing? It's the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. So good. You get dealt with, don't you? Next position will be here, right? and that's, you know, you can just think of that as the Phrygian mode. I'm not seeing that one, Dan. Is that good? That'd be sick if it was like a Spice Girls documentary. You know what I mean? If you want to be his lover. So yeah, third position. You can just think of that as a Phrygian scale. You can, Phrygian mode, which would be C. B Phrygian, right? So we've got Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian. Next one would be up here, C. Okay, and that's just going to be Lydian mode, right, in C. Or actually in the position. So start from C, and then you get to this guy, which is D. Okay, and this is boss because the way I just think, a lot of what I was doing there, I was just thinking, okay, D Mixolydian. Why? Because it's so nice and symmetrical, especially in that one shape. I know you shouldn't really do that. You should think of things in terms of intervals, okay, melodic intervals. That's the best way to approach guitar or any kind of music. But, you know, sometimes you do rely on... you know, just these like comfortable shapes. Okay, so you can think of, you know, D mixo as an option there because it's all the same bloody notes again, and so on and so forth. You know, you go through each one of these. Is there anything in particular that I'm trying to do? Not really, just trying to outline that really cute interval there. That raised major 6 sound, which it gives it this really cool flavor, you know. Gives, you know, it's that like you know, kind of spicy, very beautiful sounds. You know, it's very rich. It's not standard pentatonic. And what's cool about playing in Dorian as well is because if it ever gets a bit too hairy, just revert back to your pentatonics. That sounds like a joke because we were taking the mick out of that before, but I'm actually being serious. So, you know. You know, if you ever get lost in the woods there, just remember that's always an option when you're playing over Dorian. Is, you know, okay, well, within this shape, there's going to be a pentatonic box right close to it somewhere. Okay. So you can think of it in that, you know, you can think all that good stuff. And then you can think of it as you know, you can just add in the other notes. So I'm really outlining that major 6 sound to give it like a nice vibe. Okay. I'm hoping the more we come with the most. Do you know what, that might be working, you know, Dan, because I've got I think I've got 5 of you guys. Hello to everyone out there, by the way. Thanks so much for nice one, Seth. Thanks so much for jumping in. Seth, I'm sorry, I missed your comment before, because these things go by so goddamn quick. It's just like, poof. Juice, is that a funny joke, Dan? I don't even know what that is. Okay, cool. Anyway, so yeah, you know, a better approach to these kinds of things might be thinking more melodically about, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, you're right, yeah, okay. Oh, Fritzel Schnitzel. The one about the chord pattern you asked, I'm not sure, mate. I can't remember. That's how terrible my memory is. another way to approach these kinds of things, right, might be to consider the just how do I outline the chord tones? Well, very simply, you just play the arpeggio of it. Okay, so that first one, A minor. I'm hitting all my chord tones in there. I just said it's more about the individual melodies within the chord pattern rather than thinking about which chords. But yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, totally. 100%, Seth. So yeah, off the back of that, a way to sound more melodic might be to try and hit some of these. So as I'm doing there, I'm playing that A minor 7, right? And what am I hitting there? So I've got the root note there. There's your A. There's your A. I'm going up to the minor third. We like that. That's a very juicy note. We've got the fifth there. Wouldn't worry, the fifth's very safe, very standard. I think Jack Gardner referred to it as a potato tone, which is cool. I like thinking of it in that way, actually. Then you've got that minor 7, okay, which we're all about. So, okay, then I just went to the root again. Okay, and then I moved up here, which is the ninth of it, right? Okay. And then we're back home to the minor third there. As some of you may be able to tell, I'm trying to get this like sequenced Tom Quayle kind of sound going. I'm pretty crap at it at the minute. I'm trying to get that like, like 16ths over the bar kind of thing. Oh, hello. It'd be helpful to turn it on, wouldn't it? So, that's another one of my goals. It's another thing I'm working on with my practice. Just to reiterate, guys, if anyone's just joined the stream, busies. Oh, it just went off then. I don't know if any of you heard that. Police car just went past. Yeah, what I'm doing here today is very simple. It's twofold objective, just like the last stream. I'm trying to get my overall watch time up. So thank you very much if you're watching now. It means the world to me because, really trying to grow this channel. The more the channel grows, the more chance I have of expanding the overall brand of High Charity itself, you know what I mean? Speaking of which, if anyone wants to help out or anything, you can check us out on www.highcharity.co.uk. And if you go on the shop there, you can get one of our EPs and stuff. That really helps. Or, just hit subscribe, ring that bell, all that good stuff. Oh, thank you, Seth. Cheers, man. Appreciate it, dude. We're just going to try and keep growing and just keep pushing for it because I think this is... I think Dan actually might be interested in what we're talking about here as well. I've just surpassed yours too. Oh, well, that's the only thing about you that I might surpass, Seth. Willy size, not a contest, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Style, not a contest. What's going on? What's going on with my insane ramblings? But right, we're staying on topic, right? But oh my god, I'm gonna regret saying that. What the hell? And it's all about like higher the mind, Dan. I tell you what, it's all about growing and just trying to make this thing happen over a long period of time. And I'm really grateful that I get to collaborate with. I get to collaborate with great people like Seth on YouTube and stuff, and all these lovely humans who are on my stream right now. Means the world. So without getting too soppy, of course. And yeah, for me, I think this is a better approach. In terms of trying to grow your music, because obviously I like to write my own stuff, but I think that growing a YouTube channel and becoming like kind of like an online presence is far more effective, to be honest, than that kind of like old school way of you go out and you do gigs and 5 of your mates turn up and then hopefully one stranger comes over to you and goes, hey, that was an alright gig, that, mate. It's like, oh, thanks, and it costs everyone loads in petrol money, it costs hours of rehearsal and practice time and all that. Whereas now I feel like this growth online feels so much more organic, and it's less forced, and I really enjoy doing YouTube videos and stuff. And if that means by proxy, we can get the high charity stuff moving as well, I'm made up. So, and that's why the channel's called High Charity, because it's my project in two formats. It's a project as an online entity itself, and obviously, the music behind that, me writing songs, and my lovely band members who I haven't seen in ages helping me out there in the studio, and when we do live performances, they'll be there as well. So yeah, that's the whole reason behind it, and I'm trying to get that growth, and bump up our watch hours, because totally Seth. I think it's the only way, man. I think it's the only way. Nothing wrong with playing live shows. Live shows are boss, and we all love a live show. Obviously, I'm not saying that at all, but it's this just feels more effective in the long run. At least it has for me. Live stuff more exciting. Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. Let's say you get a channel and you've got like 20k subs or whatever, and they're very zealous about your brand and your channel, and then you say to them, oh, by the way, we're doing this gig. There's a much better chance that you're going to get a large number turning up and supporting you, rather than, I don't know, this kind of tried and tested way that I see everyone doing it, and I have done it for years. This seems far better in my opinion. I don't know that much about it though, you know what I mean? I'm figuring stuff out as I'm going. And, to bring that conversation full circle, I'm figuring out my music as I'm going, and I'm trying to learn as much as I can all the time. And that's the second reason for doing it, other than trying to get the watch hours up. I'm trying to, become a better muso, hence the practice. Definitely, mate, and as we've seen how brittle the music scene is as well. Seth just said then as well, the world doesn't seem to work that way. It's like, yeah, we've seen how brittle that is, this with this pandemic, haven't we? Have we been having a YouTube channel? Oh, well, it's, who's laughing now? YouTube's the way forward. I love it. I think it's so fun, and I love collaborating, and I love making videos and hanging out with you guys and stuff. Okay. So, in the spirit of better practice, my face looks really red, and I don't know why, because I'm not particularly warm or anything. Uh-oh. Hypertension. That's not good. Hypertension. Uh-oh. In the spirit of better practice, something that is really good to do is oh, thanks, Seth. It's looking really red on my screen for some reason. I have I washed my face with the soap before. I don't know if that's something that's giving me a bit of a rash or something. I don't know. Not that it matters. Anyway, something that's really cool is to do what we call an isolation exercise. Gorge, babe. And what that means is, it just means whilst you're doing your practice, in particular on your improv, is to try and maintain as little as possible. I can't say I've been cleansing my face with Dettol or bleach yet, but this time. Oh, thank you, mate. You take care too. See you soon. Thank you for tuning in, brother. Okay, so what we're going to do for this now, right, we're going to do the same thing that we were doing. We're still thinking in Dorian, still thinking in A Dorian, but we're going to just use one string, okay? So we're going to use the high E string for now. And this kind of goes on as an extension of what we were talking about just a little bit earlier on. Do you know your modes in every position on the fretboard? Do you know your scales in every position? And can you link them up? Are they connected to each other, So if I'm thinking in G major, can I go up and down the fretboard freely? Or am I hindered there? Are there little parts that I need to work on? Yes, for me, is the answer, by the way, definitely. I'm in no way suggesting that I've mastered this kind of stuff. All this stuff is, Rick Beato's philosophy as well. He's just the man. He is the man on this kind of stuff. So what we're going to do is then we're going to try and play over the same backing track. I'll just punch in again from a random point. It doesn't really matter, does it? And then we're going to try and just use our E string now, okay, for the notes available in A Dorian. Okay, here we go. So, punching in. Dan, we'll cover that in a second. We'll cover that in a second, don't worry. You know, doesn't sound very good, but at least I'm getting a good practice in because I know the notes now really well on that string. Now let's take it up a notch and we'll go over to Dan. If you want to stick around, dude, I'll try my best to go over some of that because it's useful stuff to know, man. It's useful. It might, you know, I think I don't like prescribing to the idea, and you know, neither does Seth or anyone that I know that like music theory is like a rule book that you have to stick by. It's not really like that. It's more just like a cool little tool that you should use every now and then, maybe in case you're stuck, you got some writer's block or something, or it can be, you know, something to give yourself a fresh perspective on it. It's insane. They're always made out to be some mystical secret. Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's a really good way of saying it, Seth. Right. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the same thing now on 2 strings, and then we're gonna talk modes. Okay, because why not? We may as well get something productive out of this, other than me just rambling. Okay, so we're gonna go on the. I definitely should stick around, Dan. I'll go over it now. Now 2 strings. Okay, so B and E string. Okay. Oh, for God's sake, what? Oh, I used 3 strings? Oh no. Tell my time feel need some work there, definitely. Okay, and so on and so forth. Then you incorporate a 3rd string, then a 4th string, then a 5th string, and these isolation exercises work really great in helping you learn stuff on the fretboard, helping you learn where these positions are, where these sweet notes are and stuff. And then, you know, you might want to move on and say, okay, well, we're just going to play over these strings, you know, these 3, or just these lower 3, and so on and so forth. Right, Dan asked a great question, and he said, what's going on with modes? I haven't really learned them. Okay, well, really simply, let's just run through this. Basically, modes are sort of an extension of what we call diatonic harmony. Diatonic harmony just means everything's in the same key. Everything always leads back to one key. So, if we were to talk about the key of C major, for example, chord 1 in C major is C. Okay. In fact, before we get to that, let's just run through the notes in C major. Okay. So, we can think of a scale and a key as kind of the same thing because that's all it means. It means when we're playing in the key of C major, the notes that are available to us are the notes in the C major scale, okay? they would be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C again. For the octave. Oh my god, it's a revelation! You know, so the cool thing about playing in the key of C, it's got no sharp or flat notes in it. So nothing we have to worry about there. It's just literally an alphabet starting from C and ending on C, you know. C, D, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C again, okay? Now, on each one of those nodes on this scale, okay, we have also a chord associated with it, okay? So, chord 1 in C major is just going to be C major, okay? That's C Ionian, Dan, yeah, excellent, man, yeah. That, you know, a lot of the time we have names that refer to the same things in music theory. In C major, C Ionian, it's the same deal. So, chord 1 in C major, okay? Then we go up to chord number 2 in C major, which is going to be D minor. Okay, chord 3 is E minor. Okay, chord 4 is going to be F major, right? Chord 5 is going to be G major. Chord 6 is going to be A minor. That's what we call the relative minor. Chord 7 is a bit of a weird one. We play a diminished chord. I'm going to play this little half diminished chord here for B. Okay, so the 7th node on the major scale is governed by this B diminished chord. Okay, and then we're back home again to C. Okay. The reason they use Roman numerals to denote the chords is because you can have capital numbers and capital numbers. Yeah, ace, exactly, Seth. Right, so for example, the major chords in C, right, would be 1, C major, 4, which is F major. So they would be denoted with capital letters, and then 5 would also be a capital as well. And then the minor ones, as Seth just said, pointed out, would be lowercase, right, Seth? Lowercase Roman numerals. Okay, now what we've established so far is we've got a node in C major, okay? The key and the scale are pretty much the same thing. Each one of the nodes, okay, on C major has a chord associated with it. But check this out. Each one of the nodes on C major also has a scale associated with it. And we call these modes, okay, with an M. I shouldn't use the word node and mode in the same sentence because it's confusing. So each one of the notes, right, on C major also has a scale in and of itself associated. The first one, starting on the first note here, as you rightly pointed out, Dan, is called C Ionian. Yep. Then we move up, okay? So now we're on the second note in C, okay? And if we just start on that note and we just keep going up, the exact same amount that we did when we first started, okay, we create this whole entirely different scale. We created a mode called D Dorian, okay? So the second one's called Dorian, and that sounds like this. That's literally the exact same notes as in C major, but I just started on D, right? And I finished on D. Oh. Okay, but I play it in this position instead. Okie dokes, right? The third mode. The third mode is starting on the third note, go figure, right? And this is called the Phrygian mode, okay? And this one is E Phrygian, right? And that sounds like this. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian. Next one is Lydian, okay? So that sounds like this. Yeah, that's the one, Dan. You got it, brother. So starting on the fourth one, right, is Lydian. That's the Simpsons, right? I'll play it right, shall I? Okay, there you go. So that's the fourth one. The fifth one is my favy because it's nice and symmetrical. It's called Mixolydian. Again, that's on G, right? The next one is the sixth one, which is what we refer to as the yeah, totally, Seth. Or oh my God, there's loads, isn't there? There's like Get Lucky. There's Scarborough Fair. There's uses Dorian. There's Oh Yeah Come Over uses Dorian. Millions, millions of song. It's got that like. It's got that what am I trying to say? It's like each mode has its own kind of like personality as well. So like where were we up to then? We got up to A, right, which is A minor, but we also call this as A Aeolian, okay? The relative minor key to C major. Okay, and then the last one that you need to know about, Dan, is Locrian, okay, which is very strange. Okay, I think that's right anyway. Okay, now, and then back home again to C major. So just to go over, we got Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian minor, okay, Locrian, and then we're back home again. Okay, so those are all the modes of the major scale. Yeah. So yeah, exactly, mate. So I've just started on a different note in the C major scale, and then I've carried it all the way up and all the way back down, and that creates a different mode. Okay, it creates a different sound entirely, really. It's contextual though. Okay, so this is where it gets. So if I'm in C major, right? There's no doubt there what key I'm playing in, right? I'm clearly playing in C major. So if I'm like, hey man, I'm going to start playing D Dorian over it, it's like, you're not really. You're still in C and you're still using all the notes of C. Okay? So it's like, they're all available notes here. I just want to resolve very heavily to that because that's the anchor point. Obviously, that's the key. Dramatic and C major are the same. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, this is the fucky thing about music is like everything starts to everything starts to come together in different ways, and chords that you learned before that have a certain name have another name in a different context and stuff. So something important as well, Dan. This might just like be the completer for your modes. Ideation here is. Okay, well, how do we create like a sound with the modes? Okay, do you know what I mean? How do I ensure that I'm creating like a Dorian sound as opposed to just like, a major sound, but I'm using, you know what I mean? How do I generate an overall vibe in that way? Okay, well, the way in which I had it explained to me, right, is like if I'm in C major again, let's just stay in concert. Okay, and I play chord 5 in C major, which is, if we count up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I wanted to go all the way up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, and I've got my 5 chord there, okay, which is G7, right? It's a G dominant or G7 is what we call it, okay. And then I take the home chord in D Dorian, right, which would be D minor or D minor 7, okay. And then I create a jam using those 2 chords, yeah, and I never return back home to C. I get a Dorian kind of sound. I get like. And that's totally different and cool sounding to like, a standard major or minor chord progression. It's got something a bit fucking spicy about it, you know what I mean? So that's how you create a tonal landscape, if you will, in a modal way, I call the root chord the tonic, then the chord to the upper tonic, etc. Yeah, that's a sick idea actually, Seth. Yeah, I need to brush up on that, the old tonic, supertonic, median, and all that. What is that? Right, let's go through it actually. For my so we got root. Let's just stick to C major for now. We got root, which is C would be the tonic, D would be the supertonic. Yeah, exactly. So D in D Dorian, that's the home. That's where we feel planted and rooted. Right, so that makes sense to me. And what you're actually saying is, Dan, just keep playing harmonic minor over there. Yeah, sure, Dan. Yeah, totally. E minor would be supertonic in, was that in C, or if we're in D, Dorian? It's if we're in D Dorian, because that'd be median, wouldn't it? If we were in C. E minor is oh, no worries, Dan. Anytime, man. Anytime, really. Harmonic modes and mega. Yeah, I need to brush up on me minor theory, my minor chord theory. Yeah, man. So that's basically the ins and outs of that. Okay, what are we gonna do next? Yeah, another concept that I'm not really like for my improvisation at the moment is called triad pairs. And again, I've seen a Jack Gardner video on that, but that would be something to get into. I think basically that just means if you play a triad over another chord, you generate like a modal sound. So yeah, I don't know any examples off the top of my head. As I said, I need to go into that. But yeah, that's something that I should definitely work on in the future. Right. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We're coming up for time now, really. So last thing, let's talk about ear training and where I'm up to with ear training. I don't know where you guys are up to with it, but here's what I'm doing. If you want minor key, definitely, yeah, Seth's the minor. Seth loves his minor and his what's it called? Your modal interchange, don't you, Seth? You love the old minor chords, but they're not meant to be, and all that. Let's talk about ear training to round this up. By the way, thank you so much, guys, for staying here and keeping me company. It means an awful lot to me. It's very kind of you, you know, because I know everyone's dead busy and we've all got busy lives and stuff, and it means an awful lot to me. So thank you. It helps me grow this channel. Minor 4. Oh yeah. Oh, let's get a bit of that going. And die for you. Oh. Don't you just love that cheesy minor 3 bend, by the way? You know, it's all good. Right, let's talk a little bit about ear training then. Yeah, thank you guys so much for sticking with me, by the way. This is so cool. And, you know, it's really helping me boost my watch hour time. I need to get 4,000 hours down to get monetized. Bryan Adams. I'm really into Bryan Adams. So, right, a little bit about ear training then. Let's talk about this. This is where I'm up to at the minute. So what I'm going to do is, here's probably how I'd go about practicing. I need to kind of push out now and start recognizing like stuff like Seth just said, actually, funnily enough. I need to start recognizing like that's 4 minor going to home 1, right? Okay, so that's where I'm up to. I need to start hearing chords now and go like, okay, I know what that chord is, I know what that chord is. That would really help me progress, I think. But for the meantime, here's what kind of stuff I'm doing. So I'm like, let's say we're in D. Not to apologise, but I love Bryan Adams. I think he's great. Oh. See you soon, Dan. Thanks for chilling out, man. Lovely to see you. Lovely to speak to you. Okay, we'll wrap this up too now as well. We're getting there. So, to talk about ear training then, it's just about like I'm hearing like the intervals more clearly now, I'd say. So, for example, hearing a fifth above, ba, right? Hearing a fourth above, major third above. Six above. Oh shit. There we go. Got there in the end. Seven above. Cheat way of remembering a seven would be to go to the octave and then just go down a semitone, right? Cool, man. And then hearing intervals down. If anyone's new to this kind of stuff, by the way, doesn't know about ear training, again, Rick Beato's your man. He is the man on this. But here's a brief introduction on what that means. So the reason why we train our ears in this capacity is because it helps us to hear intervals very clearly. It helps us to learn things far more quickly, far more efficiently and effectively. If you can get your ear training up high enough, right, you can effectively imitate perfect pitch, because in a given key you know where you are at all times. You'll be able to hear modulation even into different keys. You'll be able to hear all chords and their functions and stuff. Probably more sporadic, I think, Seth, unfortunately, dude, because I'm gonna try and like I just want to do them to boost the old watch time and stuff, and I've got my other videos and stuff I want to crack on with. I just like doing them every now and then. Yeah, I think it's good to document like where I'm up to with my learning and stuff like that. Seems unobtainable to so many of my students until I remind them that. I'll go ahead, Seth. What? This is interesting to me. Some gnarly tone going on there. What's that? That's boss. That's so good. I love it. Yeah. Here's a little cheat as well that I keep thinking about. Ask them to identify the difference between. Yeah, exactly, Seth. Definitely. It takes practice, man. It takes practice. But yeah, you could eventually get this to the point, couldn't you, where you could hear like all the different chords and then even non-functional chords and stuff, and the replacements and the substitutions and stuff. Novice to music theory, and the way you do it is very personalised and stuff. Oh, mate, well, thank you very much. I love doing this kind of stuff. I'll try and make them more regular then. If people are vibing it, it's just really cool. I will try and make them. We'll try and make it more regular. And yeah, I didn't really. Thing is, because I thought I didn't really think to do too much heavily on theory. I'm more. Even though this live stream was quite theory heavy, to be fair, but I mean, I didn't think that would be too useful, because there's a lot of guys out there like Rick Beato, like Adam Neely, and these really epic, boss, amazing musicians who do this stuff far more succinctly. But if people are getting stuff out of it 100%, I'll definitely keep it up, And I love explaining theory. I love nerding out over stuff like this, as does Seth, I'm sure, as well. We love it. Yeah, so again, ear training can't be underestimated. It's something that is definitely has massive utility and something that I need to crack on with myself. Little trick for you, and I'll leave you guys with this one. thank you again for checking me out. Thank you for helping me get my watch hours up, and thanks for being here, watching me practice and stuff. So last little gem then. If I want to work out an interval going up and it's a perfect interval, so for example a perfect fourth or a perfect fifth, I can approach that using counting up in my head using a major scale or a minor scale. So if I start on D and I count up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's my perfect interval of a G, right? Okay, that's fine. I can also get to that if I think minor. That's still a G note. Same for the fifth, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there we go. Got an A note there. If I use a minor scale to get to it, same deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but, and here's the big but, if I want to attain a major interval going up, for example, a major sixth, yeah, or let's do a major third. 1, 2, 3, 3 by my. Da, 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 da. Is that 3 by mice? I don't know. It's a common thing. Da, 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 da. Okay. If I want to approach that major interval, I have to go up using a major scale in my head, right? I can't hear a minor and then get to that really. On neutral and work up with major and minor. Exactly, my dude. Yeah, exactly, man. Same with the fifth. Yeah, yeah, nice one. So yeah, the neutral, the potato tones, the seconds, the fourths, and the fifths can be got at from either the minor going up or the major going up. It's totally the same. But if I wanted to do a major third, right, da, da, ba, ba, I'd have to go up using a major. Similarly, if I wanted to do, let's say, a minor seventh interval up, I would have to use a minor scale. Okay, let's do that together. Ba, 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 ba. That's the minor seventh interval. And let's go up again using that minor scale. So that's a cool way of getting into it, I think, because you know we play these scales so often. No, we can't, Seth. Oh, Jesus Christ. We can't. I tell you what, I'll do a really cute song that I wrote for my lovely girlfriend Ruth. I might do that in a minute. Last thing, just before we get into that soppy business. It's inverse if you are descending. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Okay, if I wanted to work out a minor third down, yeah. I would descend using a major scale. What did I just say? No, right. Scratch that. If I wanted, I'm getting tired. I need food. If I wanted to work out a major third down, I can get to that using a minor scale. Okay, check this out. Okay, so if I'm on the note D here, I know that a minor third down is a B flat, right? Oh, hang on, sorry, we're in the key of D. It's not going to be a flat note, is it? It's going to be A sharp. Okay, is that right? I don't know. I can't even think straight anymore. But the point is, it's that note, isn't it? Okay. Now, if I sing down a minor scale as if D was at the top of the minor scale, I will get to that major interval. Ba, 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 ba. Right, so I've just gone da da da. Okay. Oh, hang on, am I chatting wham here? Hang on, wait a second. No, that's right. Yeah. So if I want to get the minor interval down, I have to descend using a major. If I want to get a major interval down, I have to descend using the minor. It's flipped. It's inverse. Okay. Similarly, right. Let's take this D note, and we want to get to the minor third now, which is the B, right? Okay. I'm gonna descend using major. Okay. As if D was at the top of the major scale. If I carry that all the way down, So if I want to know a minor interval down, I descend using a major. If I want to know major interval down, I descend using a minor. But it's flipped if I want to know one up, okay? If I want to know a major interval up, I ascend using a major. If I want to know a minor interval up, I ascend using a minor scale, okay? Important stuff, I think. Cool to know, cool to get you started when you're beginning this ear training. Okay, I wrote this little jam here a long time ago. It's called, there's a, damn it, I've forgotten the name of it. What's it called? Oh yeah, it's called I've Got to Poop Really Bad. That's what it's called. Okay, it goes like this. Gotta poop, gotta poop, gotta poop real bad. Gotta poop, gotta poop, gotta poop, and I know you have. Gotta poop, gotta poop, gotta poop real bad. And if you don't think I need to poop, if you didn't think I need to poop, just when you think I didn't need to poop, well, look in the bag. Okay. And then the second verse. There's a poop, there's a poop, there's a poop in the bath. And so on and so forth. But yeah, I wrote that for my lovely girlfriend, Ruthie. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you. I don't know if she's watching at the minute or not. I don't know, but yeah. Rock and roll, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for checking this out. Lovely to hang out with you guys, lovely to see you. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely weekend. Seth, I will get right on with our next project. I'm going to have a little food. I'm going to take this thing off because I'm really warm. I think that might explain the redness. Why, thank you. Right. Love you guys. Thanks so much. Take care. If you enjoy any of this stuff, make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification bell. If you're feeling like a boss, you can check out our CD on www.highcharity.co.uk. You can get our 5-track EP on there if you go on the shop window. And yeah, thanks again. I'll see you soon. Take care.